for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Hey, what is going on? And welcome to Detroit Lions Live. We're going to be talking about the Lions and Miami Dolphins breakdown and prediction. My guy Ant-Man will be on in here in a couple of minutes. He's still got to get to his computer, and which is really cool because I love hearing his insight regarding anything Detroit Lions. And obviously, we got a massive game Sunday, home, Ford Field. This is the game that I talked about before the season started as a game I would love to go and watch because it's going to be a lot of offense. And I know our offense has been rusty the past couple of weeks. I think they'll put up some points in this game. Not saying we're going to win or anything like that, but I think it's going to be a little more entertaining. We're talking about a lot of speed in this game. We got Waddle over there for the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, that's going to be insane. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be in this game. Their defense is not the greatest over there, and their offensive line is really not the greatest as well. So we're going to talk about that, break it down. What are the matchups that we should be looking for offensively and defensively in this game? Can the Lions pull a win out of that proverbial hat? Can they pull that rabbit right out and get a victory when maybe nobody thinks they will get a victory? Right now, when you look at the overs and unders, the Detroit Lions are only a 3-point underdog. Shocking, in all honesty. I had the Detroit Lions being worse than that, but that's what the Vegas has. They see something that we don't. Maybe it's for the fact that Miami's kind of slowed down a little bit, but before we get into breaking this down and before Ant-Man gets on here, I want to say thank you to Jamie Ward, Devin Davis, my buddy, Raw Detroit TA, good friend there. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He is literally probably the best individual to talk about prospects that there is on YouTube. So if you want to know about prospects and you want to get an insight who is consistently correct, that is Raw Detroit. Subscribe to his channel. We got Paul Ginder as well. Dale, what's up, my guy? Daryl Richard. We got Devin Davis and Jared Port. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, we're going to be talking about the injuries and everything in this game. We're going to break it down, and then Ant-Man will give his thoughts. Let's start with injuries first. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be playing in this game. If you know, he got pulled from the game last week due to concussion. It was concussion BS protocol. The dude didn't have a concussion. They were just afraid because of who? Tua Tagovailoa taking that hit a couple of weeks ago, which he shouldn't have been playing, but now they're overreacting, and that's why he was taken out of the game. He will be back in this game. So we're talking about having Amon-Ra St. Brown, our number one guy. Josh Reynolds will be in the game. That's going to help out as well. So we're going to have some help coming our way on the offense. DeAndre Swift, just like Port was saying, he should be playing in this game. Now, if he doesn't play in this game, there could be multiple factors. Why? Injury, or maybe they're waiting to potentially trade. I'm not saying they're going to trade him, but we got the trade deadline coming up, and I'm sure you guys are going to want to talk about that in this stream. We will have the mailbag segment where you ask questions, and I will give you some of my answers. You messed up my fantasy football game. Hey, that's what happens when all I do is win, folks. I am now 7-0. Going to be 8-0, and then 9-0. We're just going to continue on to be Mike Berg. This game is going to be interesting here. Initially, when you look at this, you assume the Detroit Lions are going to get blown out in this game, right? Lions scored 6 points in 2 games, but that's not necessarily what I kind of came up with when I did my scouting report on the Miami Dolphins. Now, the problem for the Detroit Lions is, now Amani, he played better this last game, and we do got Jerry Jacobs back, but they got a lot of speed on that offense. You know this, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, These guys are fast. Not the biggest guys in the world, but they are excellent at route running. One of the best in all of football, the tandem there. Their speed is dynamic, and it's going to be a problem for the Lions defense. I think Jeffrey Okudah will be perfectly fine with one of these guys. I think he'll hold his now. What's up, Q? But there's going to be a problem for the other one. Who is going to match up with Jalen Waddle? I'm going to assume Okudah is going to be with Tyreek Hill, but who is going to match up with Jalen Waddle? If it's Amani Oruwariye, that's a problem because Amani Oruwariye, he does good to have some good skill set, but what I've seen when I've watched him throughout the years, he has issues with speed. So will it be Jerry Jacobs? Potentially. I think that would be probably the good matchup there. Still, that is going to be an issue, and I think they're going to put up points. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to put up a lot of points. Maybe not drop the 60 burger, just depending on the Lions' defensive line, and we're going to talk about that right now. What I'm going to assume is it's Kuda versus Tyreek Hill, Jerry Jacobs, mainly on Jalen Waddle there, and if you get Amani Oruwariye, he could be on a Trent Sherfield. He's a 6'1 guy, 206, 5 years experience. Now, he's not getting a whole lot of reception. Only had 44 yards last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that would be probably the combination I'm looking at right there. They also got a pretty good running back right now called Raheem Mostert. We all know who he is. He ran for 79 yards 16 times last week. Now, our run defense and our defensive line is going to dictate this game. Let me know in the comment section, who do you got winning? L for Lions or D for Dolphins? Safety over the top facts. And I don't want to hear, well, Jeffrey Okudah had a safety over the top. Well, we're talking about one of the fastest offenses in the NFL. Of course, you're going to have one over the top in this game, Dale. That's 100%. This game is going to dictate the Detroit Lions defensive line. Is this defensive line going to play like this past game? Now, Miami Dolphins offensive line's actually bottom third in the NFL, ranked 24. They're not a good offensive line. We got Dolphins, Lions by Paul Ginder, Devin Davis, Lions 27-24. Dr. Detroit, what's up, my bro? We got Q says Dolphins, Lions by Josh Prince. Tim Marker says Dolphins. So right now it's a little, people are a little more realistic, I think, looking at this as we're 1-5. But I can tell you right here, Joshua Pascal, John Kaminsky, Aidan Hutchinson against this offensive line ranked 24 in the NFL. If Joshua Pascal can do what he did this past game, they have a chance. Does Tua run well? He's a pass first, but he can run well, of course. We already know that. It's just dependent on how much they're going to do that. If he can, if Joshua Pascal, John Kaminsky, and Aidan Hutchinson can replicate the success they had last week, we have a shot. I'm not saying we're winning. I'm saying we have a shot. Because what I saw from Pascal is he helped stop the run, in which I think he can negate Raheem Mostert a little bit. I think get a little more pressure on this bad offensive line of the Miami Dolphins, and that's why they've faltered, is due to the offensive line. But if this defensive line plays like before this past Sunday versus Dallas, there's no shot the Lions win. Just telling you that right now. So it's going to depend on that. What is going on, Chrome? 35-33 Dolphins. Hashtag smash the quarterback. Love it, Paul Ginder. Put the score prediction in the comment section right now. What is your score prediction? Also, we got to look at the Lions' offense. Is this offense going to finally break out after 2 weeks of bad? I don't know on this one. See, here's the thing. The Miami Dolphins defense is not the greatest defense in the NFL. It's going to be a much easier defense. With that said, it seems to me Jared Goff has been a little more flustered. He's not stepping the pocket. Last week, some of those sacks, folks, was on Jared Goff not stepping up into the pocket. Is he going to do that again? If he does that again, this offense is going to struggle. What's going on? Red Bear and Snoopy, man, I haven't seen you in over 2 years. What is up, man? Maybe you've been in the chat, but, man, I haven't seen that name in a long time. We got 35-17 Dolphins, 38-31 Dolphins, 31-17 Lions, Lions 38-27 by Jared Port. If we got Lions 16, Dolphins 35, so we're getting a butt whoop by B.J. Wilson, I have a feeling they will. Initially, before I looked over the report here, I was going to say Lions get beat 43-17, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm going to give you my score prediction when Ant-Man gets on here and talks for his side. DeAndre Swift, too. This offense is upon DeAndre Swift. Without Swift, this offense doesn't roll. If Swift does play, it's going to give the offense the ability for play action. Then Jared Goff will get a little more comfortable, and we should be able to pass on this defense. Lions 24-21, Dolphins lose. The offense. Does Swift play? Big question, Alan Dana. Right now, we're thinking he's going to play. Obviously, the injury report's not going to come out till later this week, but as of right now, he should play, but he should have played last week. It didn't work. That's going to be key. I think that will be key. If Swift plays, we have a shot. If he doesn't play, just like I was saying with the defensive line, we don't have a shot. I don't think we have a shot because defenses are not respecting the big play with Jamal Williams, and for whatever reason, we're not giving Craig Reynolds enough snaps. I think he should be getting a little bit more than Jamal Williams. Look, I love what Jamal Williams is doing for the 2-3 yards, but he's not the big play guy. He's not the guy that's going to freaking drop a 50 burger on you. It's just not really him. So they don't respect it as much. So we'll see in that one. What is your thoughts, Mike, on trading away Goff during the window? He still has trade value. End of the year is a free agent. I don't think at all the Lions are going to trade Jared Goff before the trade deadline. After the season, that's something that could be a little bit different. Again, it's depending where the Lions are at in the NFL draft. Right now we're sitting with the first pick in the draft. Very possible if that happens. Things could change in a couple weeks. What up? I say dude a lot. Jonathan, Anton, Eric. Combat sack with a sick. Yeah, so I think it's potentially it could. And it also is regarding if you're a guy who says, I'd love to trade Jared Goff, what is the other team's stances too as well? Where is the Indianapolis Colts going to be in the draft order? Clearly, they're moving on from Matt Ryan. They benched him. There's other teams as well. Washington Commanders. What are they looking like? It's all about the draft, where you're at in the draft, all that stuff. Let's see. Tim Marker, Dolphins too fast. He's got another year. Yep, he does have another year for sure. And I think the Lions will keep him. That is what I think is going to happen. He's going to be here next year, regardless if the Lions pick a quarterback or not. I just think that's the route they're going to go. It's not going to cost a whole lot, and that's just generally what I think they'll do. I have a feeling the defense will show up. Paul, we'll see. It's all going to be on this defensive line. It really, really is. If they get pressure and they contain Tua Tagovailoa to not run like we have seen with every other quarterback that's mobile. Look, if Tua is able to run for first downs, it's over. Telling you right now, our defense is not made for a mobile quarterback. It's not made for dual threat. If they contain him, that's a different story. My fear is we're going to see what we have seen since preseason, what we've seen since Seattle, what we've seen all season long with quarterbacks that mobile is done. That's what I feel. So it will have to probably be a shootout. Holmes loves Goff. Yes, he does love Goff. He has a infatuation with Jared Goff. Tyreek Hill about to have 300 yards. Ant-Man, what is up, my man? What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
You may have, I don't know if you have tabs up. If you got multiple tabs up, just probably remove some of that because it's like ooh.
I'll come back in a minute.
Okay.
Give me a tick.
So he's going to do his thing. We're going to have man give his thoughts on this game. I love his intake. He's one of the better content creators regarding kind of just looking at it with an unbiased opinion. Well, we're going to go ahead and we'll do Decker got owned Sunday. And that's interesting too, Tim Marker, because we talk about Decker. You know, you got Penei Sewell on the right side. He can go to the left side. So maybe at some point, not saying it's going to happen this year or even next year, but following year, could you move Penei Sewell left side, draft a right tackle in 2 years? I don't think it's going to happen this time, but for the future. Jeff Okudah gets a pick six due to the defensive line pressure. Should be a good game. That is something I'd love to see out of Jeffrey Okudah. He has not gotten turnovers. Kirby Joseph, I got to say, too, there's been a lot of, negativity, but I got to say Kirby Joseph, I feel like he's getting better every game. Maybe he finally gets an interception. He came close last week. Kirby, my man, get your hands on that football so we can get those turnovers. Lions defense found something last Sunday. Could be the start of something special. I'm going to hold my hopes up. There's my guy, Ant-Man. What's up, Ant-Man? I can't hear you, so maybe you muted your mic. Let me see. Nope, I got it right there. You good?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Go ahead, my man.
Sorry, I don't know what the hell went on there. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing all right. Sorry, I'm a little late. I've literally just walked in from work, so.
You ain't late at all, my man. You ain't late at all. You were perfectly on time. Ant-Man, we got a big game Sunday, okay? It's home, Miami Dolphins. This is one of the games I've talked about way before the season. High-powered, speed, offense, Miami Dolphins. What is, critical for you for the Lions defense in this game?
You've got to carry on what you started last week. One of the things I've been most critical of with this team is that, both sides of the ball or one side of the ball shows up one week and then it doesn't show up the next. The lack of consistency is one of the most infuriating things about this team. Now, we've just seen as week on how good it can be, getting the 3-and-out drives. We're starting to get turnovers now. They're starting to play with confidence a little bit. Our top players, Okudah looks like he's playing with confidence. Hutch looks a lot better now that he's got Pascal in to help him. These guys, we need them to start doing it on a weekly basis now. So I want them to come out in the next game and start hot like they did in this one. I mean, because if you don't, you saw what the Dolphins did against the Steelers, right? That first quarter, I thought they were going to annihilate. I thought they were going to drop 50 or 60 on them. They start hot and, they ready to sling the ball out. They won't just try and run it on you a bit. They'll start airing it out right away. So you've got to start strong. And that's what I want to see this team do. I mean, I'm not going to give props to Aaron Glenn yet until I see this on a weekly basis that he can do it against different teams and over a game. So I want to see what I saw at the start of last one. We got sacks early. We put Dak under pressure. We stopped that offensive rhythm. So we've got to do the same with Tua. Don't forget, Tua's just coming off a concussion. Yep. So he ain't 100%. I don't care what they say. He ain't 100%. It's another offensive line that's got issues, especially on the interior. You've got places that you can go there and you can cause pressure and you can cause problems. If you hit Tua early, you get him indecisive, you get him worrying. You've seen what bad Tua's like. So that's what this defense has to do. It has follow its blueprint of last week.
For our defense, I want to see what you think about this. I think there's two factors for this game. X factors. Obviously, the defensive line. Joshua Pascal, John Kaminsky, Aidan Hutchinson. Having Pascal in here helps stop the run. And it's just, you could tell. The whole defense looked much better with those two in there. And they're going against a bad offensive line. Miami Dolphins ranked 24. Okay, so they're not that great. So they have the ability to, it's not like this is some great offensive line. They have the ability to actually stop them and force Tua to pass. My other X factor, though, is so the defensive line is if Tua gets out, if he gets out on the edges and he starts running, it's done. If they start able to do the mobile stuff, are over. Do you think they need to contain Tua? What is your X factors?
I mean, for me, I would hope more that they stop Tua passing because, their wide receiver core is damn good.
Yes.
Jalen Waddle has just taken to this league like a duck to water. And, you've got Gesicki at tight end. You've got so many targets down the field here. And you saw exactly what they did against the Steelers. And that's the Steelers with a good defense who can run contain, who can do things to an elite level. They got the passing game going early and Pittsburgh just couldn't deal with it. They were moving the chains quickly. They were getting down the field. They were getting them out of, preparation. You could see what they did. So you've got to stop them passing because that's just how explosive they can be when they can. If you've got to give up a few yards on the ground, fine, I don't really mind. But as long as you keep those explosive playmakers in check and set a rhythm to the game and get after Tua, I think that's really what I want to see. If he is going to run on us a bit, then I kind of think it's the lesser of two evils for me. I think, like you said, we've got the presence on the interior now to go and exploit this. So let's do that. Let's do that first. Let's get more pressures, more sacks, and I think that's what's going to be the big thing for us this weekend.
You know, I'm tired of stats. I don't care. I just want wins, right? Like I'm tired of excuses. I'm tired of the BS. But there's other things to look at too, like Kirby Joseph, his development. I think he's getting better every game, which is really nice. It's what I liked when we got him. You know, Joshua Pascal. So there's other things to look at. But in all honesty, it's all about wins. They got to effing win. They got to win at some point. Okay, so, you know, I don't care about stats. That's why we're jumping out of the offense here. Lions offense versus this Miami Dolphins defense. Dolphins defense is nothing great, okay? It's not like they're not the Dallas Cowboys defense, all right? They're not even the New England Patriots defense. There's no excuses for this offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be back. DeAndre Swift should be back, from what I know. There's no excuses in this game.
No, absolutely none at all. And I mean, you saw it yesterday when you watched Monday Night Football. You know, that I think still, position for position, pound for pound, we are a lot better than that Chicago Bears offense is. And they went and stuck 30 on a Patriots team that we couldn't lay a finger on. So there's your thing that's saying there is no excuse for this team. There is no excuse for them to be able to not be able to go out in this game and put up points. They've got to stop feeling sorry for themselves. And I think there's a little bit of they're feeling sorry for themselves at the minute because points aren't getting on the board. You know, between the 20, our 20 and the opposition 20, we seem good. In the red zone, we've gone back to our old weary ways, giving the football away, not converting. That's got to stop. You know, if you are a Detroit Lions player at the minute, you've got to look at all these teams around you in the division pulling out wins, scraping together wins. By hook or by crook, they get over the line. And you have to look and think, why can't I do that? Why aren't we doing this? And, you know, you look at on paper, the Dolphins defense is good, but on the field, you've seen it's not great. It's a vulnerability. It's been picked on. There's a blueprint there to be had. And like I say, the big playmakers are back now. And if these big playmakers want to, especially DeAndre, if he wants to justify being on this team in years to come, he needs to go out and he needs to put the performances out for us to enable to get us some wins because we have to. This offense is very experienced for us. You know, it's none of this young stuff on there. There's no reason we can't put points up in games. And people have got to stand up and take notice now. The offensive line has got to be better. Taylor Decker's got to get out of this slump that he's in because he's our second highest paid player and should be leading by example. I want to see him have a good game. You know, I want to see this entire line wreck shit up, as they say. You know, there's no excuses. 6 points in 8 quarters is unacceptable. You've got to snap out of that slump now.
Everybody says, well, we don't have this player. We don't have that player. Chicago Bears do not have a good offense. They do not have good wide receivers. Their offensive line is terrible. And they just smashed the New England Patriots who freaking routed us. The Panthers just defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's no excuse, okay? This game, Amon-Ra, Swift, you got your offensive line. Everybody on there is starting except for Big V, who's been out since the beginning. No excuses at all on offense. Zero. Nope. A lot of turnovers the Lions have been doing on offensively. Fumbles and interceptions. You know, it's been really bad for Jared Goff the last 2 weeks. What does he need to do in this game to stop the bleeding?
He needs to play like his career's on the line, which it is. You know, these first few weeks of the season, there was maybe just a little bit of a glimpse that he could be something more than the 2-year bridge quarterback we all thought he was going to be. But these last few weeks, he's shown that Bad Goff is still in there. And if he has any aspirations to continue in this league beyond this season, he's another one. He has to stop feeling sorry for himself. I see him in the kind of slump he was in at the beginning of last season where the rhythm was not quite. I mean, in the first half of the last game, he was really good. He was really damn good. And then that one pick, which shouldn't have been a pick, and his confidence goes. And you can't do that in this league. You can't have one little setback in a game which sends your game completely just shatters, because that first half, he was damn good. I was impressed with him in that first half. And like I say, one little mistake, and all the mistakes start coming out there, and you can't do that. So for him, he's got to come out and play like his career's on the line. He's just got to take risks, stop sitting back, stop getting sacked. He's got to come up in his pockets a bit. He's got to step up. He's getting so many clean pockets. Step up.
Standing back there like a statue. You're allowed to step up in the pocket. Okay, and that's allowing some of these sacks and fumbles. It needs to knock it off. This is a 7-year player. This is not a rookie. Okay?
Yeah.
And you said it perfectly. You got to play like your career's on the line, because I'm with you 100%. You need to play like your career's on the line, because if we keep losing these games, first pick in the draft going to be a quarterback. Keep this up. And
I think we're close to seeing Nate Sudfeld. As much as I hate to say it, you've seen what the Colts have just done with Matt Ryan. They have decided enough is enough. This is not acceptable.
Mac Jones last night.
They're on a different time. I know these teams are on different timelines to us, but for what we need, these young players need to learn how to win games. They need to develop a winning mentality. They can't lose week after week after week. You see the players at the end of every game, and you look at the looks on their faces, and the belief is gone. And that is no good for your rookie development. The rookies are developing on the pitch. They're looking like good players, in terms of the games themselves. But that winning mentality, that belief that they can get over the line and do it, is not there. And that is what's so critical to teams, especially teams who harbor hopes of being playoff teams, Super Bowl teams.
You just said something that nobody really knows about, but I was told this. On the plane home, what I was told is the feeling was the players are already done. Like they kind of sold the season over.
And if that's the case, then that's unacceptable. You're 6 games into a year. You're on a skid, but this is why winning is so important. And when so many people say to me, this is a young team, wins don't matter now. Of course they damn well do. Why do you think the Lions have been such a bad franchise for years? Because we keep losing. The rookies don't develop the confidence to go on and be superstars. Free agents don't want to come here. What do you think a free agent who watched this weekend, who watched us unable to score points against Dallas, unable to get back in a game that we really could have been in there, and then on primetime on Monday night, they watched the Bears go out and whip the Patriots with a team which is nowhere near finished? Where do free agents want to go? They want to go to the team that wins. They want to go to the team that's showing progression on the field in terms of learning how to win, have a winning mentality. They don't want to come here. And players don't want to come here. And it infuriates me. You see all these teams around. You said the Panthers against the Bucks. It's critical for the development of all this young talent on this team that they win football matches. They learn what that feeling's like. They learn how to get over the line. You saw how they tossed it away against the Vikings. This team did. Because it don't have that winning mentality, that belief that it can get over the line and finish a game. The reason we did it against the Commanders is because we had a big enough lead and we got there. But when the lead wasn't big enough, when we had to rely on that little bit of extra grit and determination to get over the line, it wasn't there. And ever since that game, the belief's gone. And that's what you're going to get. If you're going to have 11 more games now getting tanked, of course it does. And then by the end of this season, your best players want to leave. Your rookies are just, completely wrecked in terms of confidence. What's that doing for your rebuild long term? Nothing. And you've got another number 1 pick. Congratulations. It's one guy who's going to come in here. It's no good. What have we picked recently, Mike? 7, 3, 7, 2.
Top 10 last 5 years.
7, 3, 7, 2, probably going to be top 3 again. Doesn't, you're getting all these high draft picks. What's it done for you? It's giving you a few cornerstones, but it's not teaching you how to win games. And
I don't care about stats. I don't. This player has this stat. The only stat I care about is wins and losses at this point. It's funny. When we were watching the game for the Dallas, I was doing the live watch party. People's like in the comments, this is a boring game when it was like 3-3 or at that point in the half. I said, this is a great game. I said, I don't care if we win 6-3. I just want to win. I don't care about stats anymore. I don't care about high-powered offense. all that. I just want to win. At some point, that is what you got to do. You got to find a way to win. That's what teams do. And so that's what they need to do for Alan. Just like you guys need to smash that like button. That's a win for this channel. We got 141 in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. Let's talk about wins and loss for this game. Prediction. What is your prediction for this game? Who wins? Who loses? What is your score overall?
See, I feel like this is kind of the tipping point for me. This is the game where you can show up, put in a great performance, get out a signature win, and still do something with your season. This is the point. It is make or break for me. If this is another big defeat and the offense fails to score again, then I think my expectations kind of gone for this year. So I'm trying to look at this one more optimistically. I want to hope that this defensive resurgence is something more than one game. I want to hope that now we're getting a little bit more healthy, that we can carry on this momentum. I want to hope that my major playmakers are back now, that this offense can carry on being what it once was, because that's the trouble. We've missed Swift something chronic. He just adds something to this offense which other teams can't deal with. He's a mismatch nightmare, and without him, you don't have it. So, I'm rather optimistically probably here. I'm going to say we win this one because I don't believe this Dolphins team is great. You're on home field. You're hopefully going to have the backing of a voracious crowd. You have a point to prove. You are, like I say, at point break now. You've got to prove whether you are good enough for this, or there's going to be a lot of you who are going to go home because you ain't good enough to do it. So I'm going to say we win 33-30. Call it more misguided optimism maybe, but I feel really like this is it. This one is it. You lose this, just look at the schedule coming up. You're in some big trouble.
Let me know in the comment section right now, what is your guys' score predictions? Throw it in the comment section. If you don't want to put a score prediction, just put L for Lions or D for Dolphins. Here's what I got. I'm with you, not on the win, but I'm with you that I feel like this is the Alamo. This is it. After hearing the story about the plane ride and everyone's like dejected and ready for the season to be over with, I feel like this is the last stand for this season. If they lose this game, even if they play as hard as they can and they still lose, I think it's going to be dejected the rest of the year. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I just don't even care anymore. I think that would occur. I think they do put up a fight. I'm actually with you on this one. I think they're actually gonna play like their butts on fire. I think that the Miami Dolphins win 34-23. I still think the Miami Dolphins pull out the victory. The Lions, what I've seen from Jared Goff, he's lost his confidence. I don't know exactly what is going on with him, but just like you said earlier in the stream, you were saying how it was like last year, and it kind of feels like that now. Maybe it's due to the offensive line. Obviously, it probably is, but it's just the Miami Dolphins got speed, mobile quarterback, too much for the Detroit Lions. I think that's going to be the case. Let's see what the comment says. We got Lions 38, Dolphins 31, 35-17, Dolphins 27-24, Lions 34-10, Dolphins, Ricky Bobby 21-13, Big Lucy there. So it's kind of a mixed bag here. It's kind of a mixed bag, and I get everyone's side here, but I'm with you. Alamo time. It is it.
Yeah.
Like, you lose this game because it's been so many losses at home. You got to face the Packers. Rut-row, okay? I know they're not that good a record, but they're always beating us. They got to face the Chicago Bears, who just routed the Patriots. Mobile, dual-threat quarterback whom we can't stop. And then it just goes on, so it's going to be rough. I think this is it. Derek says trap game, Lions win. Go ahead.
Show me that you care. That is what I want to see, because these two games have shown me that most of them don't care. Because when we need them, when we need those big plays, when we needed Jared Goff to come up big, when we needed Jamal Williams to come up big, when we needed our top players to come up, they came short. And I'm sick of it. I'm just honestly sick of it. This offense should be doing better. And you've seen around this league teams rattled with injuries, starting backup guys, starting practice squad guys, winning games against far superior opposition. So come out at home, Detroit grit, Detroit pride. You're playing the Dolphins. Show us that you care. Show us that you're capable of doing something more than just wilting away, because that's what it feels. This season just feels like we're wilting away without a fight. And that's what pisses me off more than anything. I can deal with not having an 8, 9, 10 win year, but I need to know that the fight is there in the team and that they're going to carry on. And 6 points in 8 quarters ain't fighting. It's giving up. And, some guys are doing it. And what's even more annoying is it's not the rookies. The rookies are playing well. Pascal came in and played well. Kirby's playing well. Malcolm's playing well. All these rookies who we've brought in with the right attitude and the right, sort of frame of mind, and all we're doing is ruining them by just introducing them to loss after loss after loss after loss after excuse. And that's what's more annoying, because there's a great young core in this team. It's just every time the veteran leadership in this team lets you down.
And it's turnovers, too. Jared Goff, I hear all these statistics. Well, here's a statistic you probably don't hear a whole lot of. It's because people maybe want to be a little bit biased here. He ranks 28th in interceptions. This dude is throwing a lot of interceptions. There's just a couple people ahead of him, Matthew Stafford being one of them. You got to stop turning the football over, and fumbles not even counted with the amount of fumbles. So you want to win football games, stop the turnovers. And that's #facts. I don't have to go, well, this stat. How about the turnover battle and the win battle? Show me those, and then we'll start talking. Folks, it's the mailbag segment where you got questions. We may have some answers. #lies, throw it in the comment section right meow. And a lot of people's talking draft already, and I feel you. Me and you, we love the draft. That's something about your channel. You talk about college prospects. It's just what we do, This is what we love talking about. And, of course, when you're sitting there at pick number 1, you have the options to pretty much get anybody you would like. So before people bring in the questions, I got to ask you, the end of the year for the first pick of the draft, who are you taking?
It's going to be a teammate. It's going to be a former teammate of Jameson Williams. I know that much. For me, it's very difficult. Either you've got to reset with your quarterback of the future, or you've got the opportunity to have the fiercest young pass rushing duo in the NFL. And I just can't stop wanting Will Anderson at this point. You place him there with Aidan Hutchinson. You place him there with Liam McNeil, Josh Pascal, all these healthy guys. You have a half decade of dominance on a defensive line if they develop right. And for me, there's good quarterbacks in this draft you can get later on, so I'm still firmly behind drafting Will Anderson at this point. Guy is a physical freak and the best defender to come out of college since Myles Garrett in that respect. And you want a Myles Garrett on your team.
There is 2 franchise quarterbacks in this year. It's actually a great quarterback draft. What in the hell? There'll probably be 5 quarterbacks that go in the first round. That's wrong. #FGB, is Swift gone after this season? This is an interesting question. I'm gonna say no. What do you think?
I'm gonna say no as well because of his cap hit. We only pay him a little over $2 million next year, and if you only get even half a season out of him, as good as he is, that's great cap value for you. But I am drafting a running back high to pair with him this year. I am absolutely 100% doing that. #F Miami Dolphins. The Lions need to do some trick plays, mix it up a little bit, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure you see some flea flickers, some jet sweeps, all that type of stuff. I definitely could see that 100%, especially when you're going against a juggernaut offense. That can be a juggernaut offense. Recently they haven't been, but they can be for sure. We all know that. Alan Dana, what is the longest pass Goff has ever thrown? I don't know the longest pass ever thrown. Do you know that one? Not offhand, but there were a few he did this year. There was quite a big one to Raymond in the Seahawks game, I think. But it's not big. But yeah, the arm's not great.
Jared Port, is it the fault of the fans and same old Lions media that no one wants to play in Detroit? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
You want to know what the problem is? It's you don't win. That is why. It all comes down to wins in losses. Green Bay Packers. Go over there. Well, Green Bay is not the most dynamic place in the world, but you want to know what happens over there? They win. It's the
that's the
fans'
thing,
fault.
as a player, you couldn't ask for a more passionate fan base. I mean, look at the players on the team. Look at Jerry Jacobs. Look at what he's done with the Lions community on here. The rapport he's built.
Yeah.
He's such a fan favorite with them because the fans took him under their wing. He was an undrafted cornerback, and everyone got behind him and rooted for him. And look at him, he's back now. He's healthy. Hopefully, going to be playing a lot more. He is the best example of what fans do for players' confidence on this team. You see it with them all. See it with Jamal. Jamal loves the fans. Fans love him. There's great connection between the fans here and that. As a player, that's what you want. You don't want to go to the Patriots where you lose a game, they turn on you. I mean, listen to that reception Mac Jones got yesterday. Wednesday. Bailey Zappi came out. Jones ain't done no wrong, and yet the cheer when Zappi came out and he got benched, those are bad fans. He's not exactly done a great deal wrong, Mac Jones, but they just want whoever's better, whoever's there, and they just don't give a damn about their players. So it ain't the fans, I can tell you that.
Chief says the organization, 100%.
Yeah.
The fans, man,
you want to
it's
win.
surprised they have fans, the amount of losing that this organization has had. That's how much this fan base wants a winner. It's the opposite. But when you're a top 5 pick every year, you've never won a Super Bowl. Last playoff win was 1991. And what do you expect? Hey, we're going to be happy and dandy about that.
This is why we're having to build through the draft. Because drafted players don't get a choice whether they come here or not. They've got to. We can't go into free agency unless we pay heavy. That's what Bob Quinn did. He gave nearly $100 million to Trey Flowers, who rinsed us for every single cent and didn't give a damn while we were here. That's why we're having to build through the draft, because we can't win. It ain't a nice place for people to come if you're a veteran wanting to win. Got to change that somehow.
Win. That's how you change it. Win. It's real easy. WIN. # Smash the Hall. Where's the Rams pick if we fall in the draft? Well, right now I think they're around 22, 23-ish area. Yeah, so if they keep
now.
Yeah, 22. So there's a lot of 3-win teams. So we'll see what happens after this weekend. But I can't. I want them to lose so bad. Like, you can root for them to lose. There's no doubt about it, man. Sick of the same old lines. Do y'all think this team has given up because of Goff is playing for the other team and Dan Campbell can't make in-game adjustments? I don't think they've given up. I don't think that. What do you think? What's going on here? I think it's just lack. I think it's everything. Like, all together.
I think the confidence is gone. I think the belief in the staff is there, but you had that double whammy. First against the Vikings, where you lost a massive chance to make a statement in this division. You threw that game away. That hits your confidence hard. And even though in the next game, the Seahawks, the offense kept going, you saw on the defense, it was just defensive heads have gone. And then the offense puts up 45 points and loses, and now it can't score for toffee. I think it was a case of they scored drive after drive after drive after drive, and they lost. And I think the confidence went. And this team is indicative of a team that has no confidence at the minute. Fumbling at the 1-yard line, confidence issue, no belief that you can go over and get the point when you really should. And I think that is the issue. And somewhere along the line, someone in that team needs to stand up and say, hey, the lot of you, snap out of it. Someone needs to make a big play. Someone needs to make a statement, so that the other players can rally around it. And I don't think Goff is the type of guy you rally around as a leader, which is the problem. So someone else has to do it.
Well, I agree. I
confidence.
Can't argue with that at all. He said, Paul Ginder says, Okudah and Rodrigo have been lights out. They've been really good. And I got to throw in there Joshua Pascal. Loved his debut. Love what I saw from him. This is what we need. And Kaminsky, man. Those guys, I think that's something you can build upon. Yeah, that's something that you could say, okay, we got a few pieces here.
This is where a lot of difference between, someone asked a question about fans and same old lines of media being the problem around here. Look at Okudah. I'd like to say a lot of the fans stayed loyal to him and backed him, especially during his rehab and that. And look how he's doing now. A lot of media wrote him off, just said bust. They were all talking about players taking after him and all this, there, and the other. But I mean, look how good he's playing now. You don't hear any of those guys retracting their comments about how bad he was, what a bust he is. Sometimes it was unlucky for him. It wasn't just like injuries like Levi's where he's come out of college and you can't get healthy. These in-game injuries, they happen. You see it every week. But Akuda, I just couldn't be happier for him. I'm so delighted for him, just how well he's playing. And yeah, it's a great story this year, Akuda is.
Chief says paying Goff $30 million plus is an issue, and especially when he's not performing to the expectations of a quarterback getting paid that type of money. Is it top 10 money? No, not right now. Every year it goes up. We all know this, but it's still an issue. How are you how are you not playing up to your potential? Because he's not what we thought. Well, I don't know. I don't think really anyone thought anything. Let's be honest here, but
yeah.
I think the future is just simply in the draft, folks. Do you think Dan Campbell is drinking 2 pots of coffee right now? Well, he needs to go to something else, man. Get a Red Bull or something. Give you wings because what's happening right now is not working. What do you drink, Ant-Man?
All I'll say about him.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Quick. All I'd say about Campbell. I know you can say what you want about the man and that, but one thing you can see after the game, this hurts him. Matt Patricia didn't give a fuck. After a game like that, he'd just come out. We need to get better at the fundamentals. We're close to winning these games, etc. At least it hurts him. And you can see it does. And I know it's very scant consolation and that there, but this is still a coach who gives a damn. This is still a coach who wants to win. So, I just so badly want it to turn around for him because all these people are just getting
Everybody
after him.
Wants it to
I know
win.
he cares. Everybody does. And that's how I know. And that's what makes it distressing. Yeah. I know he cares. He looks crestfallen. He looks a bit defeated. He looks like...
He does.
Man, he knows he's in.
He looks like he got lionized.
Exactly, but you know what? Give me that over that emotionless robot we had before. I'll take every single week.
Yeah, I can't stand Patricia. This dude. If Swift plays, do you think he'll be on a snap count limited? Yes, 100%. It will be snap count limited. Why? He's always snap count limited. He's not the every down back. He's never been that. Coming back off quote unquote injury. He will be. Maybe we could trade for Mac Jones. Absolutely not happening. I seen that in a article today. As soon as he got benched for Bailey Zappi, I said, here we go. I can't wait to wake up in the morning. And I seen it, and I just had to put out there, no, we're not trading for Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. We're not trading for him. It's not happening, man.
You know what? That people talk about the whole same old line. That would be same old lines to do that.
That would be worse.
You're going to take a quarterback who's approaching the 3rd year of his rookie deal, so already you've squandered his rookie deal. You need a year or two to get this team. As soon as you're about ready to hit the playoffs, you're going to pay your quarterback and disassemble your team to pay him again. That'd be stupid at this point. Go and get one in the draft.
We're not trading for Jared Goff. Jared Goff. That's kind of what Mac Jones is, right? He's a young Jared Goff. Isn't it? It's kind of like the same. We ain't trading for Jared Goff. Look, you're sitting here in the draft. Just draft a damn quarterback, right? Like, good God. You have an opportunity. Yeah. There's a lot of talent in this year's draft. Maybe one of the better, depth draft classes I've seen in a while. You just get it, but no reason to trade for Jared Goff because you have Jared Goff. God, you don't want to trade Jared Goff for Jared Goff. He is the epitome of game manager. That is Mac Jones. I would lose it, man. I couldn't lose it.
You know what? Let's go and trade for Kenny Pickett while we're at it. He throws more picks than Goff does. Let's just really go in for it on the rookie quarterback.
Oh, God. I would lose it, man. I swear to God. I think I'd be yep.
We had someone in our Discord talking about maybe trading Goff to the Falcons for Mariota, and I'm like, fuck's sake. If I see Mariota lining up off center, that's it. I'm done.
Why would I'm waving the white flag. They're winning with him.
Like I'm waving the white flag.
We also got to look at our own and understand that Jared Goff back then. I like the mobile quarterback. That's just me. I like dual threat, and there's a lot of those in this year's draft. I love to do it. And if you're sitting at 1, you got the pick of the litter. So, do you worry about Brad Holmes if he wanted to get a quarterback that you'd be worried because he did get Jared Goff?
I don't know. I always understood the Goff move when we got him. Our team was so bad when they took over that having a bridge quarterback, or at least giving Goff 2 years to prove himself while you build your team, for me was always a sensible decision. Not just rushing straight in with a rookie when you are at the start of a rebuild. You are in the dumps. Your team is screwed with cap. It's screwed with talent. It's screwed with everything pretty much. So to give Goff 2 years, fine. I know it's a lot of money, and I know people will quip about it, but that for me was always the plan. So I don't think he's really had his shot at his sort of QB yet. He's gone for it with Goff. It's not worked. As for backups, I couldn't really care less. How many GMs are good with backup quarterbacks? Very few. I don't really.
We're terrible backups.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I agree
We're
fully.
worst.
But in terms of, if you're asking me if Brad Holmes graded the quarterback evaluator, he took a shot on someone he knew for a few years while he built this team up. This team next year, it's going to be a much better cap situation. It's got 2 worth of draft classes in, rookies who are doing well. The team is in a better position. I will trust him to go out and find a quarterback because he's not had this decision on his shoulders yet. And like I say, I don't care about his quarterback calls. That's not quarterback evaluating. Trying to get a damn rookie and trying to get a franchise guy is so much different to trying to find an ample backup. So yeah, I trust him. He's landed on a lot of his draft picks. So yeah, go out and do it, Brad.
It's easier, Bryce Young or Hendon Hooker. Bryce Young, look, he's really good. I think he's got that it factor. He does. His size, that's the question mark. Hendon Hooker, he's dynamic. His age, everyone's got something really good. You know, C.J. Stroud, size. So I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that they could look at. You know, Will Levis, if you want to go that route. But, you know, they'll have an opportunity if they're sitting at 1 to pick whoever the hell they want. Go ahead.
But that's what I mean. You can probably get Hooker a bit later on. But I mean, if anyone's going to bash Hooker for his age and then want Levis is not much younger.
He's not.
This is an old quarterback class. So you are going to be. Well, I say old. They're like 10 years younger than me. But
it's not
still,
Stafford when he's a baby boy.
For the most part, it's old, but Bryce is the better of the two up top. He has not as great as you look at those wide receiving options that C.J. Stroud. 3 first-round picks he was playing with last year, or 2. Jackson Smith-Njigba would be this year if he wasn't injured, and they've got 2 more guys who've just stood up this year, surrounded by talent. Bryce don't have that this year, and I know it's Alabama and all, but you saw in that Tennessee game, right, Mike? His ability to extend plays, his toughness. He is a Detroit quarterback, if ever I saw one. His tough playing mentality, the throws he makes, the ability to extend. How many 100%. Times have we been burnt by quarterbacks who extend plays? Bryce is a Detroit quarterback.
And you got the connections, obviously, Jameson Williams, but Amon-Ra St. Brown back in high school. So
exactly,
you could see what they're doing there. Do what they did to Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase.
I'd be damned. I mean, Malcolm Rodriguez was done for his height. I know it's the difference between a franchise quarterback and a 6th-round guy, but if the player is good enough and he has the traits to overcome those abilities, then he will succeed in the NFL, just like Malcolm Rodriguez is doing. Bryce Young has all the attributes he needs to succeed at this level, and his height will not stop him.
He's not small. He's not as small as Kyler Murray. I think a little people are afraid of the Kyler Murray. He's more of a Russell Wilson.
People need to stop generalizing on one issue.
Drew Brees.
It really annoys me because when, like I said with Malcolm, everyone, he's small, he's tiny, he's not going to do it at this level. Watch his tape. Watch his tape in college, and you just need 5 minutes watching him to know that he'll translate to the next level. It's the same with Bryce Young. Just take 5 minutes to actually watch how he plays, watch his game. Take that tag about his height out your head. Because if you're just going to automatically go, every small player is bad, then that's not scouting properly. That's not giving a guy a fair chance.
Says, sorry, I meant to say Detroit doesn't like mobile quarterbacks. We haven't had one. I would like, but you want to know what? The last time we drafted a guy was Stafford, and that was 2009. I mean, it's a little bit different now. I think the new era here is mobile quarterbacks, obviously. I think in this draft you have a ton of them. I think if they go quarterback, it's going to be a dual threat. I'm pretty damn sure.
That's it. How long is it since we've drafted a quarterback? It's Stafford as a franchise quarterback. So this is
All
what,
time.
2008, 14 years. So it's not that we don't like him. We've just not had a need to because we had a franchise quarterback for so long. And for the last 2 years, the Lions have given a Goff a chance. And, whether that's a good decision or a bad decision, the fact is they've given him a chance. It's not that they've just deliberately gone over all these quarterbacks and gone, no, I don't like him. They've given Goff an opportunity here, and it looks like he's going to waste it. But the team did right by him; they didn't just shelve him. They at least gave him a
It's
chance.
time to
Now
find a
it's their
guy.
opportunity. So yeah, so this thing about us not liking mobile quarterbacks, it's rubbish. We've never had a
We had
need to
Jeff
draft one.
Garcia before he broke his leg in preseason. Remember that one? And Jeff Garcia. Dante Culpepper, we had him for a year before he just fell off a cliff. But yeah, I'm real excited. I think Bryce Young could be the target for sure. You look at the connections there, and he's got the it factor. It's just like some people have it and some don't. It would be awesome to see him with a Lions uniform on there, like and running around and extending plays. It'd be something completely that we haven't seen in a while, at least since I've been a Lions fan. Shoot, I'm 37 years old. Be something completely different. And I was, Herman Moore wants it too. He loved that dual threat quarterback. So I think it'd be absolutely awesome to get it. I think it'd be real, real fun. Is Bryce Young too small? No, he's not too small. He's not Kyler Murray small. He's about 6 foot. He's more of a Russell Wilson, like I said, or a Drew Brees. But he's a guy that can roll out. I'm not too worried about his height. I think it's more about the thickness than anything.
I tell you one thing, he's one of the toughest quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah,
I mean, he takes a lot of hits. He takes a lot of hits at Alabama, and some of them SEC defenses are mean and nasty. And again, watch the Tennessee game, and I know they lost it, but you will see everything you need to see from him in that game. Playing injured as well, he wasn't fully fit for that, and still was able to shred stuff up. So I have no concern about his height there, but I'm quite excited about this QB class.
I'm excited about this super chat here from Zakia. Bryce and Amon-Ra and JMO connections like Cincinnati in reverse, 100%. 100%. It's like going in full circle right there. You know how it would be so exciting to have that. Like, I would be so happy to have it's a Hobbit. I tell you what, when I see Kyler Murray, I just see like a head and a little body. His head is like giant compared to his body. Is weird looking. But it would be awesome to have. I would go ecstatic. I would love to have Bryce Young here in Detroit. It'd be exciting. Games would be exciting. You'd have the big play. I'd love to see him bomb it to Jameson Williams. I would love it. I would be having a riot.
No, I must admit I would. I would like to see it here, and I just feel like he's the right type of quarterback for the team we are and what we need. So yeah, I'm quite up on him there. But like I said, I still love Will as well. So it's what, Mike, it's going to be incredibly difficult. If we're still in this position at the end of the season, I'm not going to be able to make a decision on him.
Yeah,
it will be fun, but I just want. I like the draft, but I need the draft to stop being fun. I want the season to be more fun, so the draft's boring, but, it's what we have to do for now. It's it.
Lions just signed C.J. Moore to the active roster, so he is back to Detroit. He's the special teams guy, just broke right now, so letting you guys know. So nothing really that big in the news, but you guys can hit that like button. Let's get to 50 likes, 14 away. Smash that like button. For sure. Do the Lions, I got to ask you a question here, and we'll go with that one. Do you think the Lions will make a trade for the trade deadline, whether it be trading out or trading to get a player in? Do you think they're going to do it before the first?
I would like them to. I've been very much on this train that this team needs established talent, and if there is a right deal out there for this team, then go out and take it, because you can't fix this team through the draft. You just can't. We're going to need some help from the outside eventually. We can't just wait for 5 years of drafts to get us up to the point where we're a good team. So I would hope that anyone who's had their name made available would at least ring about them. I mean, it was the Washington defensive tackle was up today. I can't remember his name, but I'd put in a call about him. Duran Payne. I put in a
Yeah.
call for Duran Payne. Because if
3.5
I put
sacks,
Duran
25 years old.
Yeah. If I put him in with Aleem in the interior, and then I've got Pascal, Hutch, and Harris coming back on the edge, then that can win you games. And if the price isn't too bad, then do it. Because, we love having draft picks, Lions fans, because we love the draft. But sometimes you've got to give them draft picks away and get in some established talent. And when Brad Holmes came here, we always thought it'd take a few years before we found him in his wheelie-dealy ways. I think he's going to go to full-on Brad Holmes this year. I think the picks ain't going to matter to him, and I think he will go out and do what he can to get talent. I would do it. I'm just not with this, if you're a loser, don't buy. If you're a loser...
Let's be honest,
you
can always fiddle the cap. You can always
of course you can.
Look at the freaking New Orleans Saints, man. Like, they are $100 million over the cap, and they sign everybody.
Exactly. So... I don't care that we're a losing team. If there's a player that's going to make us better and going to fill a hole for next year, go out and get him. Go out and do the deal. Don't just sit on your arse until the draft and let this play out. That is the worst thing you can do, is just sit pat right now and do nothing. So
I would like for them to trade away player. I'd like them to acquire draft picks. But I'm with you. If the Payne was available, or if Derek Brown was available, I'd do it for a DT. Because I think if you got a defensive tackle, it pretty much sets that lineup for success, and that would help out the whole thing. But I'd love to get some more draft picks. This would be my thinking. We already got 2 first-round picks. Let's get another second round. Pair it up with another second round. Move up back in the first round. We'll have 3 first-round picks. Screw the second round. We don't need to draft any players in the second round ever again.
The thing is, who would you trade, though? I mean... We were this time.
I'd look at T.J. Hawkinson. That would be one guy I'd be looking at. DeAndre Swift, too, would be on my list. I'm thinking about potentially moving. That'd give you really anything. Smaller moves, they're not going to trade Brockers, and ain't nobody going to want a conditional anyway. 7th-round pick for him. Not much other else.
You've got to look at Amani, because you've got to pay him next year. It's like we did 12 months ago with Tracy Walker. We had this conversation. Well, I was at the time. If you're not going to give him a new contract, then get what you can for him before the trade deadline. Because there's no point keeping him half the season and then just losing him for no. So at the minute, I think you have to make a call on Amani this week. You have to decide, is he going to be part of your future here? If not, get what you can, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, like you say, and do the deal, because it ain't going to do as well losing him next year for nothing. So I think that's something you have to consider as well. And I guess it's the same with DJ. I know he's got the 5th year next year, but still, you want to do the deal now. If you're not going to trust him long term, then do the deal now and just get it out of the way.
Hell yeah, I want new uniforms next year.
Bring back the black. Bring back the black. I know it's unpopular.
They did. I'd love for them to change the helmet up a little bit. Maybe go black helmet, something cool.
Just get rid of the grays. Get rid of the sky blues or whatever they were. They can go. Get rid of them. Bring back the black. Get some more white in there. I love the white jerseys, but the black one needs to come back. I don't give a damn if it's Matt Millen's era. Don't care. It looks fly.
I like the all blue, man. I love all blue, and then maybe I love the black. Go completely something different with a black helmet. I don't know. I'll get creative out there. But we've been on for an hour, and I appreciate my guy Ant-Man joining us on Lions Nation Unite. Tell the folks where they can find your channel, why they need to check it out and subscribe, because it's fire content.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mike. So, yeah, you can find us at Roar of the Lions UK. We do shows on Monday. We review the game from the weekend. We do a college football podcast on Wednesday. More for the guys over here trying to, expand the college game knowledge over here. But if you do want to come and have a chat with us, it's good fun. And then on Thursday, we do preview shows for the game weekend ahead. So just search us out, Roar of the Lions UK. You can find us pretty much anywhere. I would say a big shout out to you, Mike, and to Grandizer, and to everyone who's tried to pick up our show. We've just passed 600 subs on YouTube, and we are going to look to get even better on the road to 1,000. We really want to get there, so we're gonna up our content even more and up our work rate even more. So thanks ever so much. Appreciate all you do for us.
Fire content. There's 200 in the building. 200 subscribers should go right to Roar Lions UK. Love it. I listen to it every day. I have it while I'm working, listening to these guys. I may not comment every time because I'm working, but it's some fire content. I appreciate everybody hanging out. See you on Thursday on my personal channel. With that said, folks, adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.